Right, so what happens to these headlands once they've formed? So here is my headland. I hope that's obvious. It's a bit of a 3D image. Here is my bay. So we know that these waves are taking place. They're kind of relatively calm waves, so they're constructive. But despite being constructive waves, they are going to do some erosion. Now what happens is there is a weakness in the rock. Somewhere in this headland, there is a weakness, and the waves will find it. Hydraulic action will take place, a bit of abrasion will take place, and we start to see that the crack will expand and it will grow as it continues its breakdown. What then forms is a cave. So that crack will continue to be eroded. Over time it will get larger and larger, and then it will form a cave. The cave develops, it widens, and eventually, after the cave is deepened, it will then punch through, if you will. It will break through to form an arch. Now you can see through this. So I'm going to kind of draw the C on the other side here. Okay, and I'll get rid of this. Yep. It's now an arch. So you could kayak or you could swim through that arch. Erosion continues to take place. Once you have your arch, the arch will again widen. You also have this very heavy, unsupported rock. We know it's hard rock. Hard rock is more resistant to erosion. It's also heavier. Okay, it's unsupported, and as the arch gets bigger and bigger and bigger over time, as it widens, there's more and more rock that's unsupported. So you can kind of see what's going to happen here. What happens is it will collapse. The hard rock will collapse, and it will form a stack. Now this is a standalone arch. You know, it's not connected to anything. It really is just a pillar stood out in the middle of the ocean. Okay, and if you ever see that, you can see, well, this is once a headland had existed. Again, it will erode over time, and a stack will become a stump. Now this stump might be covered and submerged at high tide and then only exposed at low tide. But yeah, this is the end point, is the stump. So we have 5 stages here, okay? Crack, cave, arch, stack, stump. The cave is the original the crack is the original weakness. It's developed over time into a cave. Eventually it breaks through the headland, which is protracting out into our ocean, and forms an arch. Over time, that arch will get bigger and bigger, unsupported, will form a stack as it collapses, and eventually that stack will form a stump. And then, what's going to happen is the whole process will repeat itself in a cycle, okay? And this explains why our coastlines are constantly shifting and constantly changing. Yep, bays are forming, headlands are forming, then at the same time they're being destroyed in uncertain parts, okay?